I remember I was catching Lyft and my driver was a female, and we had a little conversation. She started talking about her situation, and she found out I wasn't from around there. I was in a different state then. And as we got a couple blocks away from my house, she just straight up said, "Don't trust nobody. Everybody's just out for themselves and there's no love here." And I thanked her for the advice, and we went our separate ways. I'm assuming she assumed I wasn't aware of my targeting, and this was her way of helping me out by giving me advice. I say this because I often meet people who give me soft disclosures of my targeting. And I always pay attention to when people are talking, because you can really learn a lot. What most of these soft disclosures have in common is it seems like everyone knows not to trust anyone. That's when I realized the program is completing its purpose. It's less about controlling me specifically and more about affecting everyone around me. Either that's creating confusion, division, or dysfunction. Because I'm just one person. If you let them decide, I'm pretty sure they'd pick the many over the few every time. But if they can use the few to influence the many, that's your strategy. It's textbook. Trying to control the many. That's why, from my point of view, it feels like, as a so-called targeted individual, the people around me seem more messed up in their head than I am, even though I'm the one who feels like I'm being psychologically pushed and pressured. How is that even a thing? You would think that I'd be the one who's completely falling apart, not everyone else. But I understand, it's Pokemon. They catching people's minds, and they gotta catch them all. Because you can't live out here without a handler, without a trainer to tell you what to do. So, because they can't control you, you just out here as a free agent. They constructed a way to use you to influence others. Because naturally, you influence others. I remember reading into how Gangstalking operates in a reverse causality system, cause and effect. If you have knowledge of cause and effect, you can reverse engineer it by creating the effect. This is the witchcraft aspect of the targeting. This is where it comes into play, because you're creating something out of nothing. Influence is the cause. Symptoms becomes the effect. They are creating the symptoms. They can use this program to age people, make people lose their hair, their teeth, degrade their health, make people homeless. Do not misunderstand, this is all witchcraft. And they got everyone under their influence. If you pay attention to people that's around you, you will see and realize these people are under a strong spell. These forces are real. And when you can be cool and stay calm, you can actually feel the negative force operate throughout the room or in the air. For example, I remember when I went to the store, and when you go somewhere, they already had people set up. So as I walked through the door, you have a few people standing idle looking at my direction, right? With a certain look. And a few other people, just doing their own thing. And you can just feel the energy and the projection when you initially enter. But if you remain calm through and through long enough, you'll notice the energy change. It shifts, it fades. People are no longer too attentive to what you are doing. What you believe to be true at first, you find out it isn't the case. Things aren't what they appear to be. They just make things appear to be. Now, it's possible that it could be because they have already completed what they were meant to do, but the energy is undeniable. And the only way you will realize if you are calm. Even with me, sometimes I catch myself feeding into the energy until I realize and pull away. Then I regain control over these forces in the situation. If you don't develop calm, it will suck you in. It's about starving that force because it needs your energy. So try not to give any. If it can't be helped, just little to play with, right? Because if it has no energy to play with, then they would just be playing with themselves. And that's actually what they're doing. They're playing themselves, because I remember there was a phrase that said, if you want to find out a person's character, give them power. What you see is what you get. People are just naturally insecure, nasty, ugly, hateful, and bitter people. That a program like this can even sustain its secrecy, it lets you know exactly everything that you know, right? And which brings us back to the beginning when the lady spoke about not trusting anyone. It seems like everyone is pretty much aware of the situation, but nobody can do anything about it because everyone is out for their own self-interest. That also means that people needs are being met in some way when they participate. But like I was saying earlier, just be cool about it.
And it's gonna be the people like us that's like, no, that's wrong. They gonna look at us like we're gonna be outnumbered. Think about the things. My bad. I'm gonna just say this real quick. And I'm gonna end it up. Think about the things that people are doing right now, behind closed doors that they don't want the world to know. You know what I'm saying? The masks that they put on when they get out here. You don't know who is who. But in these upcoming times, bro, you're gonna see who is who. This shit is gonna come out, my nigga. They won't be able to hide it no more. It's gonna be normal. And you understand that history was fucking ugly on all sides. From all people, it was ugly. It was some ugly shit. We've been spawned in this new world order through hate, chaos. You know what I'm saying? War, famine, all this shit passed by. All this shit was happening, bro.